everybody, Jewel back with another super cool astrology video and talking about Sun in the third house today and what that's like when somebody has this going on in the birth chart. So the Sun is our ego. It's our expression. It represents the father principle, the masculine side to what we go after. Our expression, where we want to shine, and it has a lot to do with our personality, how we show up in the world, what we show to people. It's not the moon, it's not our feelings, it's not our unconscious desires or anything like that. It's what shows up, and a lot about what we want to be known for is the Sun. Where we want to show our authority has a lot to do with where the Sun shows up in the houses. So, whatever house the Sun comes into, ouch, mosquito, whatever house the Sun comes into, this is where we really want to shine. This is where we want to show up in life. This is where we put a lot of our energy into. This is where we want other people to see us as an authority. And we definitely want to be noticed in whatever house our Sun comes into. So, the third house is really about communications. This is, originally ruled by Mercury. And it's, short trips, siblings, neighbors, communications of all kinds, vehicles, transits, all third house things. And so when we have the Sun, the expression, the ego, the drive, a lot of the personality coming into the third house of communications, we see somebody whose expression has a lot to do with things of the third house. So they tend to be great speakers. They tend to be chatty. They tend to be more outgoing. You have to look at everything because astrology is complex. Tend to be more extroverted. Very concerned with acquiring knowledge. They're very conciliant thinkers. They are able to marry a lot of different subjects and come up with, an answer. They can be know-it-alls, but you have to look at everything. Definitely aspects from Saturn to the Sun that can increase that type of characteristic. Brave with their speech. This is the house of communications, yes, but it's also where we find our courage. Our courage and our bravery, our efforts. Our efforts are found in the third house. Most people don't realize that. The third house has a lot to do with our grit. And so these people tend to be very fearless speakers, and they tend to be, they're talented at it. And it's just really a part of them. It's what they're known for. They're known for their communication ability and the fact that they are, just kind of, they usually are happier, more optimistic people when we have the Sun here. You have to look at everything because that might not be the case. I'm talking about one thing, only Sun in the first house. I'm not talking about any other aspects to the Sun here. They can be mental overachievers. They can be mental show-it-offs, but you have to look at, aspects, challenges to the Sun, everything like that. But they tend to be, very mentally adaptable. Very good with change. Most people don't do change well. People with Sun in the third house tend to be able to handle it, and they actually look forward to it. They're good with it. Very taskish people. Good with that kind of thing. Usually have their willpower and their ability, I want to say, how do I put this? Their mental attitude and their willpower have a lot to do with each other. because a lot of our attitude is found in the third house, and you know how we look at things, and so that is and so you know this is the house also of courage. So, if their mental attitude is kind of in the dumps, then they tend to be feeling fearful. They tend to be having a dip in their courage. They tend to be not going for it and, going for their goals or reaching their goals. Ouch, I got a mosquito bite. Or reaching their goals. It's very, more dependent on, how they're feeling mentally. So those two things are very much tied together for them. They need to have a positive mental outlook if they're going to go forward in life. I mean, everybody needs that, of course, but it's really more important for these people because if they get down in the dumps, it can absolutely drain their energy. So it's important that they try to stay positive and moving. Very much about movement, about, even as children, they tended to be, always in motion, always in motion. The boys love playing with cars. There's, even the females with sun in the third house, you can see them having an interest in automobiles. They like, just motion, movement. They don't like to be bored. They really don't like to be bored with sun in the third house. They can often be found doing three things at once. If they're watching a movie, they're also painting or reading or doing something else or journaling or sewing. So they're usually pretty busy. Lots of acquaintances and friends. They tend to be pretty popular, but not so much. You have to look at everything else because, we might have like the moon in the 11th house, and that could, mitigate what I'm about to say. But they usually have more acquaintances than close friends. They like to be popular, they like to be moving from person to person, and they're usually pretty social butterflies. Have to look at everything because there might be a whole lot of fourth house or, other aspects going on here. Conflict with siblings is more common when we have the sun in the third house. They tend to, at least a lot of times with a brother, there's conflict with a brother. Often people with sun in the third house often look like the brother as well. There's a strong physical resemblance going on here. So, the siblings often play a large part in the life with people with sun in the third here, and they tend to have relationships with them that are, very definitive. Now, you have to look at the state of the third house ruler and of Mercury to tell you what the full story of the relationship with the siblings is. So this is my analysis of people with sun in the third house. Hope you enjoyed this. Please subscribe to my channel if you did, and check out my business partner, Seth Roback, the awesome astrologer also. Here you can find him on YouTube. And I will be back soon with another super cool astrology video. You can find me on the internet at truthinAspectAstrology.com and on Facebook at Truth in Aspect Astrology. And I'll be back soon. Bye-bye.